So about 8-9 months ago, back when the world was a totally different place than it is now, I looked at my 3-year-old daughter and I noticed she was acting kind of strange. And by strange, I mean awful. Like, she's throwing toys, she's screaming directly in my face, looking at me in the eyes as she pushes over her baby sister. And I look at this precious child who took me 2 years of fertility tests, multiple miscarriages, a painful shot to the thigh every day of my pregnancy. I look at this miracle of life and I think to myself, this kid is the spawn of Satan. And then she walks by me and I smell the spawn of Satan. And it dawns on me that she is in the midst of a poop possession. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the phenomenon of the poop possession, it is when a child withholds excrement for so long that it fills up their entire little body until it bursts out in the form of actions and words. So it's at this point I realize I need to step into my role of the poop doula. I'm observing early poop labor, making sure that her farts are getting longer and closer together. And when it's time, I suggest we make a move to the bathroom. And my daughter says, no, I don't have to go. And I said, let's just go, see how it feels. You don't have to push or anything. So we get in there and she's on the toilet and things are looking promising for a minute. But at the last minute, she tenses up and I know we need a new tactic. So I suggest a warm bath. Any experienced poop doula knows, once the patient has entered the bathtub, you need to keep a very close eye on them because the last thing you want on your hands is a water delivery. A few minutes later, I see the look in her eyes and I say, resist the urge to push. I get her out, she's back on the toilet, and it's go time. Come on, you can do this. Push, it's right there, I can almost see it coming. And then once again, she clenches up and I can tell we're just wasting our time. So I say, let's go to bed, we'll check on things in the morning. Now, when I was pregnant, my doula told me that the body just knows how to give birth. Like, you could be completely unconscious and the baby would still come out. I was wishing for unconsciousness a few times during my labor, but I was very much awake and aware through the entire thing. My daughter, on the other hand, slept right on through the delivery of a very large, hard, and stinky poop egg. Now, here's something to know about this discovery. We co-sleep, so her bed is my bed, and also the bed of my baby daughter. You might wonder where my husband sleeps. That would be in daddy bed, which is in my 3-year-old's abandoned room, and a swirly princess bed completely devoid of thrashing limbs and blanket stealing, crying, and now poop. He misses so many nighttime memories, but I did not want him to miss this one, so I pointed my face up to the baby monitor and I whispered, "It has happened. Come quickly." So he comes running in and we launch into postpartum care. For me, that meant cleaning up after the delivery and putting on a pair of clean pants. For him, it meant disposing of the poop egg, which involved a paint stir and a stabbing motion to get it to go down the drain. Not 10 minutes later, I'm snuggled up between my kids again, like nothing ever happened. So this is what we're dealing with going into a pandemic. And to be honest with you, it was kind of awesome having a kid with constipation issues, because going once every 3-4 days really conserves on our most precious resource of toilet paper. And even when she did go, it was so compacted, didn't really leave a trail on the way out. There was really nothing to wipe. It's what we call a ghost poop in the biz. But later on, as things began to open up a little bit more, not my daughter's sphincter muscles, those remained in lockdown. But as we began to leave our houses, a new problem presented itself in the form of bathroom deserts. Bathroom deserts are geographic areas in which residents' access to clean, flushable toilets are restricted or non-existent within a convenient traveling distance. So this became the new focus of my anxiety. I would spend hours trying to prematurely induce poop labor. So fearful was I that we'd be stranded in a desert for the big event. But really, a 3-year-old pooping in public, not such a big deal. We've got options. The little potty fits in the car. If we're in the woods, we dig a hole. And if we're really down and out, we usually have a plastic shopping bag on hand. About the shopping bags, I know they're terrible for the environment and good riddance to them, but I personally am hoarding every last plastic bag left in the state of New York for the emergency poop, because I don't think a paper bag can hack it, and she sure as hell is not shitting in my reusable Wegmans bags. So my daughter is more of the 72-hour hard labor style pooper, while I have become the I didn't know I was pregnant variety. Like without fail, every time I leave my house to go somewhere with my kids, the minute I step out of the car, I immediately have to poop. It's like all of my anxieties about the pandemic and politics and the state of the world just comes out of my ass every time I try to leave the house. There are far fewer options for a 36-year-old in a bathroom desert than a 3-year-old. One time over the summer, I had just arrived at a trailhead, and as usual, I looked to my husband and I said, I gotta go, but I think I can hold it. I made it about 10 steps onto the trail before I was throwing the baby in his direction and running for cover. Any mother knows that pooping without children is a real luxury. Like in the comfort of my own home, pooping means reading a book to the 3-year-olds, like library storybook style, while the 1-year-old crawls into my lap to be nursed at the same time. So even though I'm squatted on the side of a trail, I was kid-free, and I wasn't gonna waste that time. So I got out my phone and I'm scrolling through my Facebook feed, really enjoying my me time, when I notice a movement out of the corner of my eye. And about 5 college kids and no less than 3 dogs come down the trail towards me. I was only about 10 feet off the trail, which is appropriate social distancing, but totally inappropriate poop distancing. The dogs are pulling towards me. There is no way to miss what I'm doing. But this crowd just walks by like nothing's happening. And this really illustrated to me human beings' capacity to be in denial about things that are right in front of their face if it's too unpleasant to contemplate. Like if people can walk into public not wearing a mask as thousands of people are sickened to die from COVID-19 every day, or deny that systemic racism and white privilege exist when the statistics alone clearly prove it, or believe that even an embryo has the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, but turn a blind eye to the migrant children that already exist in the world as they were taken inhumanely from their parents. Like if people have the capacity for that, then it's not a far stretch to believe that the person that's squatted on the side of the trail is just using her phone to identify an interesting plant. But really, even though it's unpleasant, even though it stinks, it is time to open our eyes and see the giant pile of shit in front of us and do something about it. Unless we're being literal, because honestly, I have no control over my bowels these days. So if you ever see me squatted somewhere, just pretend you didn't see what you saw and keep on walking. Thank you.